wanted to just give some practical, simple tips on how you can help cure addiction through different sleep practices, and not just addiction. Phobias, major fears and anxiety can be overcome through dream practices. And with some of these people, I'm not too sure how seasoned they are as dreamers, as experienced dreamers. So, maybe I could get into some. Didi, you said addiction, it's a coping mechanism. Yeah, in a lot of ways you could say that. It is. Yeah, you can use sleep techniques and dream techniques, even if you're not an experienced dreamer. You said it's helpful, bro. Addiction is real. One thing I love about dream work is it encourages a balanced, healthy lifestyle. Otherwise, your dreams can expose you to show you the truth. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. And addiction is real. It's definitely real. And I don't feel like it's a disease, and I think that's a really easy argument to make for a lot of obvious reasons. And the only reason that it was classified as a disease in the medical field is so that people can get treatment for it covered under their insurance. But that's a different discussion. And addiction, I know it's a very powerful disorder, but it's not a disease. There's obvious differences, very, very fundamental differences. So some of the experiments that have been done, there's been incredible breakthroughs with sleep therapy. And like I was saying, even if you're not an experienced dreamer, and even if you don't lucid dream and you don't remember your dreams, there's still different methods that you can use to help you with this. Like one thing that they've done in labs to test whether or not you can cure addiction through sleep therapy, one method that they used is, just for an example, someone that's addicted to nicotine, they'll give them the smell of tobacco while they're sleeping, and then immediately follow that up with the smell of rotten eggs. And I'm not making this up. This is real. This is really what they did in the lab tests. And they practiced this over a period of 3 weeks, every night for 3 weeks. And so statistically, 7 out of 10 people had the desire to not smoke anymore. 7 out of 10 people cured their addiction to nicotine through this method. It's interesting to note that some of the people that weren't cured through this method might have been, if they would have continued the experiment a little bit longer. So say they did it for 6 weeks. I think it's safe to assume that you can cure 99% of people of addiction through just this simple method alone. I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions to that rule. And then, so I was trying to think of how someone can apply this in a practical way to their daily life. I started to see if there were any other experiments done alongside of this that you said, I'm going to wrap myself out. I've been putting the dog poop I clean up right by where my wife smokes to try to get her to make that subconscious connection. That's great. That's great. And there's something to that, obviously. There's evidence to support that might work. I mean, as far as doing it when people are in waking state, I'm sure there's something to that too. So, the power of suggestion and association, the strong subconscious power of association. That's great. For people with gambling, and that this can get into like kind of manipulation, and how ethical this might be in different ways can be debated. But he said, hope she don't see this somehow. That'd be my luck, right? That's great. That'd be funny. Shout out to Jesse's wife. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be rotten smells, and there's different sensory input that we take in that can affect us on a subconscious level. We all know that. Some of these labs, they experimented with the effect of frequencies on the human brain, consciously and subconsciously. Some of these experiments that were done were for like gamblers, and the results of these experiments they weren't as overwhelming as the rotten egg experiments, but still significant. So So what they would do is like someone who's addicted to gambling, they would surround them, while they're sleeping. They would they would play sounds from a casino, and I can't help but think it would be more effective if they tried to induce some of the smells of a casino, maybe. But it's like, how do you get the specific smells of the casino that person goes to? I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, so they would play like the sounds of the slot machines and the voices in the background for some of these people, and then they would immediately follow up that sound. There's a few different experiments that have been done, and they were in slightly different ways, but this is just the one. And you know what? And I could even tell you who it was that did these experiments. This was the Center for Sleep and Circadian Neurobiology at the University of Pennsylvania, actually, did this one. I can throw up links afterwards in the comments if anyone's interested. But they would play like the sounds of a casino, and then they would immediately follow that up with disturbing frequencies that make people feel uneasy and uncomfortable. And a lot of those frequencies are between 2,000 and 5,000 hertz. Center for Sleep and Circadian / Neurobiology, UPA. Thank you, Jesse. Yeah, they've done all types of really really interesting, cool stuff. Actually, there's another one by them, but just to stay focused here. So they would play like the gambling sounds, and then they would follow up with frequencies between 2,000 and 5,000 hertz. And a lot of times these are the sounds that are associated with like machinery or alarms, or uh like unpleasant feedback sound is usually between like 2,000 and 5,000 hertz. They would play this for these people, and then the people over a period, I don't remember for how long they did this or for how many nights, but I know that was their method, was that they would play the noises of a casino and then follow it up with disturbing noises. This was the results of this were, like I said, they weren't as overwhelming. I think it was something like 30%, 30 something percent of people in the following weeks reported back saying that they had no desire to go back to the casinos. They said when they did go in the casinos, it made them much more uncomfortable, and they wanted to hurry up and get out of there as quick as possible. So, and then some of the follow-up showed that it did help. Like I said, it was like 30% of people said that they were cured of their gambling addiction just through this method. And again, who knows if they would have done it for a longer period of time, or if they could have somehow associated other sensory input, maybe it would have helped a larger percentage of the people. But I think that it's pretty safe to say that a combination of these senses is would definitely be the most effective way to approach it. So like, I feel like with the gambling thing, maybe they could incorporate smells with that, and with the rotten egg nicotine thing, maybe they can incorporate sounds with that. I thought about this experiment, and I'm like, that's relatively easy, compared to some of the clinical approaches, and it's also free if you can do it, and so I don't know if you guys have any ideas on this, but like, what would be some ways that people can incorporate that into their everyday life to try to help them? And I was thinking, if you have a partner that you trust, you can have them, you can have them do that to you, if they're willing and if you're willing. And depending on how bad you want it, you can track your sleep cycles to start with, and then you can follow up and have someone, every 90 minutes or so, uh, you can have them, blast you with some of these smells or some of these sounds. Jesse, you said you heard that attention blindness fades quickly, like a beeping fire alarm you tune out, for example, will bother the hell out of someone who isn't used to it. Yeah, no, yeah, that's very true. Uh, that's very true. So maybe the variant of these things that is what can is what can keep it, front and center in someone's attention. Um, and so that's why also it's not just it's not just the sounds, but or just the specific frequencies, like playing any frequency between 2,000 and 5,000 hertz. You can also um, use like scary cat sounds and stuff, like so. Uh, there were other experiments that have been done. You know what, everyone? You're gonna have to hold on a second because this person keeps. It looks like it has an unstable connection again. Uh, hopefully, hopefully it'll come back. What up, Johnny? Johnny Rocks is in the building. Yo, Johnny. I'm gonna be sharing that song that I made for my girl to your beat, and I'm gonna share it on Valentine's Day. So she hasn't heard it. She probably won't like it anyway because she don't really like my music. But hey, it's about her. So I hope you don't mind, Johnny. The mix might not be the best, but I did the best I could with it. I've had the song done for a while. I haven't set up my new computer at this house yet. I haven't really set the studio up yet. Yeah, man, you're hanging. What up, Johnny? It's good. I'm glad to know you're here. Uh, yeah, man. So, so yeah, Jesse. What was that? Uh, Attention blindness fades quickly like a beeping alarm. Yeah, for sure. So, another way that I was thinking someone could incorporate this into their daily practices would be like, and this is another way that people induce lucid dreaming too, is through sounds, but like as far as the addiction thing and the attention blindness, like yeah, instead of just playing one solid unpleasant frequency, you can use like scary animal sounds, like the sounds of a mountain lion or something. And I feel like that can definitely trigger some cortisol. You said you don't care, my dude. You can always do. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Johnny. You're the man. Yeah, I'm gonna be posting some of that because I haven't been able to record, and I don't have my computer or my mic set up yet. And just to keep putting out content, I do have some stuff that no one's heard yet, so I may as well throw it out there. And a few of them are to your beats. So then, like, trying to cure like a fear or a phobia, you know, one of the most effective cures for phobias and for people to overcome their fears. Jesse, you said also taste, maybe dipping the cigarettes in like hot sauce before you smoke. Yeah, I guess that would work for sure based on the evidence. I know like when kids have trouble sucking on their thumbs, they put like hot sauce on their thumbs, but yeah, I'm sure there's something to that. But I wonder. I wa- I wonder if you could try that while someone's sleeping and give them the smell of a cigarette and then give them a tiny toothpick drop of hot sauce on their tongue. I wonder if that would wake them up. I don't know. That'd be messed up. You know what? I gotta take this phone call again. I apologize, people. I'll be right back. And they want to quit smoking, and my phone says it has a bad connection again. I feel like some of these, just understanding some of these, and maybe testing some of these in different ways. If you really really want to quit, and you don't seem to have the willpower, and you're apprehensive about some of the clinical approaches. Um, I mean, hypnotization is definitely effective, but some people don't feel very comfortable with that. Like they don't trust a person to hypnotize them. It makes them uncomfortable. And some people aren't suggestible enough to really be effectively hypnotized. So, I mean, I think it's possible for anyone, but it depends. There's a lot of variables. Depends on the setting and the person that's doing the hypnotizing and all that. So, So I feel like some of those things, someone can try. One way would be to like just set the alarm on your phone for roughly every 90 minutes or so. And if that doesn't work, you can adjust the times. We can get into the stages of sleeping and the different times that go along with them. Uh, but I mean, maybe we should actually talk about some of that. What is it? I never shared this video actually to the Dreamkeeper group. Let me do that real quick if I can figure that out here. Jesse, you said she'd wake up and I would die. Yeah, what if you put hot sauce in it? Uh yeah, I wonder even yeah, man. There's a lot to that. But that's why I think, smell and taste are so closely connected that I think if you make it a very strong smell, that should be effective enough. That is hilarious though. I think about that. Johnny, let me know how that goes for you, man. Are you gonna try the hot sauce thing? Because I want to know. I'm curious. I gotta share this to the group. So I feel like one way that you can incorporate that you if you don't have a partner at home and you don't have someone that's willing to put rotten eggs in front of your nose while you're sleeping, or to play horrible frequencies when you're in the sleep state. Okay, I found the group. I'm about to share it. I'm sharing it to Dreamkeeper Nation right now, people. Didi, you said you're addicted to eating. Hot sauce would be just the cherry on the top. I feel you on that. I feel you. And I love hot sauce too. And I love eating too. I'm definitely addicted to eating. I will say, if there's one, if there is one guilty pleasure that I don't seem to have so much control over anymore, and I mean, willingly, uh, it is food. Like me and my girl, we like to eat, and you look at me and you might not be able to tell because I got a crazy metabolism, but I love to eat. I always take everyone's leftovers. If we're passing by a barbecue place, like it's really tough for me not to stop and pay for it. And for a long time, I wasn't that way. I was always able to resist food, and it's like eventually I got to the point where I'm like, I make enough money to treat myself once in a while, and I'm tired of being hungry all the time. So like if I'm hungry and I see something I want, I'm gonna get it. As long as I'm not overweight, it shouldn't be an issue. But then like it can make me broke. So I gotta be careful with that. But okay, she's texting me now. Uh but like I was gonna say, if you don't have a partner that can help you out with some of these things, you can set certain sounds on your phone and for your phone alarm. So you know every 90 minutes, it depends on what the issue is. And then we like when we talk about drug addiction and stuff, that's a heavy one. And that's that would take a much much stronger approach. And and then a lot of people, it's tough for me to relate to that because I've never been addicted to drugs, but I've seen it, I've witnessed it firsthand. I've lived with it with other people, and I've tried to help them before, not successfully. And I never tried any of these methods back then. I wasn't aware of all this, but that's tough. Drug addiction is a really tough animal. So if I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon because like my phone's getting blown up and I do have some stuff to go do. Hmm. There is more I wanted to talk about here. I might have to record a separate video that's just simpler and more straightforward. But there's more experiments here I wanted to get into. I don't think I'm gonna have time. I don't even really want to crack it open if I'm not going to be able to dig deep into it right now. Maybe the next live that I'll do will kind of just be a continuation of this one because there's actually a lot more to say about this. I'm sorry, everyone's texting me, and yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it right now. So I just wanted to pop in. I didn't want to go a full week without talking to any of you guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to chop up this video. I'm going to take out some of the key points there and share this to some of those people that were asking. Like I said, I posted links, and it doesn't seem like people want to dig through and do all of the research necessary. So I'm just gonna try to post this, chop this up, and post it for some of those people. And I can't wait to get real deep into some more of these dream sessions. But for now, I'm gonna have to go take care of a bunch of stuff for the day. I do have a lot to do, so I'm gonna go clean up the baby girl and brush her hair, and we're gonna head out for the day. But I will be back to a consistent schedule at some point, and I'll get back to all of you people. Much peace and love to all of you. I'll be seeing you. Thank you. Peace out, Dee Dee.